Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Akulmek Technologies and you are welcome to Topcast. Today we have Sitesh Srivastava who has a deep interest in history. He has been training IT professionals and marketing professionals. He is also having a deep interest in corporate training, so he is enjoying whatever he's doing. And a part of this is closely associated with video. Welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Good day, Kanchan. It's another great, bright day in Bangalore, and I look forward talking to you on our interesting conversation series, which I think is doing a greater good in our current modern landscape.
Yeah, it is so good to talk to you always. What happened yesterday? I met couple of Nepali friends, and then I am compelled to think what is going wrong between India and Nepal, because Nepal is kind of integral uh, friend of India. We had been interacting. We have intermarriages also. We have always had a good relationship with Nepal. And though I am not an expert to really comment on the India and Nepal relationship, but what I think is that Nepal is deep rooted in Indian culture, because even in Mahabharata, Nepal as a place is being mentioned. So I was just thinking how things are becoming sore, and how to really feel to do something about our Nepalese brother, how to gain the trust of these people. And I'm sure that many Nepalis and many Indians, they have soft corner for each other, isn't it, Sitesh?
That's right, Kanchan. India and Nepal, they go back a long, long time, not just in the modern history, and not just in the medieval history. As they say in English, India and Nepal relations can be traced back to unmeasured times, which we call antiquity. So, Nepal has been one of the closest cultural brothers, if I can use that word, for the Indian peninsula. And what we hear today between India and Nepal about the border dispute, of course, this has got some history behind it, which is seeped in 200 years old history, when the British were ruling this whole peninsula. But from the India's independence times, or around 1950s, India and Nepal have coexisted and collaborated on cultural and border ties and economic development of each other, and therefore it becomes more interesting to understand it from today's perspective, and see if there is any political stuff which is involved in this, or there is a genuine concern between the two countries. Of course, as we know, India has never tried to take away any piece of border from any of our neighbors, uh, but it is important to see it in a proper context. Kanchan, I have grown up near the Nepal border towns for almost 10 to 12, 13 years. And I have seen, I understand the commoner's perspective between India and Nepal, and the trade relationships that we have, the border checks, which are very minimum between India and Nepal. We have open border policy. That means there is no visa, there is no passport, and only there is a customs checkpoints at various borders. And therefore, it is important for us to maintain and forward this relationship to a greater heights.
Yes, it is a time when we should, India and Nepal should have a more stronger ties, and we should act like two brothers, and we should come out with whatever problems we as a nation they are facing, we should come out of it. And when we think about Nepal, we also think about Buddha, the Kapil Vasu, which is at Nepal, and great people have come, have they emerged from this country. And it is said when Buddha became enlightened, he again went to Kapil Vasu and visited Kathmandu Valley. So when these great histories is there in Nepal, and how to tackle this, the modern problems, it is one thing which all of us as a commoner, and of course on government level, everybody should give a thought to it. What do you say?
That's right. That's absolutely right. And as I said in the beginning of our conversation, the current border problem traces its origins somewhere in 1800s, around 200 years back, when British were ruling this subcontinent, and it was the kingdom of Gorkhas in the Nepal. And British did a treaty. That treaty is popularly known as Sugauli Treaty. And in that treaty, British did a division or segregation between the borders, and they defined the borders of the Nepal's western side and the eastern side. In that treaty, the Sikkim and the Darjeeling area was given to the British for their control. Rest of it was kept with the Nepal. Interestingly, on both western side as well as the eastern side, the Nepal border was defined by the rivers. And those rivers were the natural borders between the British India government and the Nepal Kingdom of Gorkhas. Now, over the years, in 1947, when we achieved our freedom, we had our diplomatic relations with the Free India, the Indian democracy, and the Nepalese monarch. Nepal was still a monarchy for a larger part of the last 70 years. Only in 1990, Nepal has moved towards electoral democracy as we know it today. So if we trace back the relationship between India in the modern last 100 years, there have been numerous cultural exchanges, political visits, marriages between some those princely states, Bollywood exchanges, Manisha Koirala, and so many stuff between India and Nepal. Growing up in the 90s and 80s, I have seen when Nepal border was a very prestigious place for all over the India. People used to say, "Oh, you stay near Nepal border. Can you get us some digital things, digital devices?" Because it was easy to get things from that part of the border and not easily available in India in those days. And what happens in that, when you have such a porous border where it is easy to move and go walk, and both side countries nationals, they can do business in each other's countries, including our Nepalese brothers and citizens can be part of IAS and IPS as well, I am told, with certain restrictions in certain states. Similarly, Indian nationals can do business in Nepal, barring some of the things that they can't do. They can't buy property and things like that. But there are a lot of things that Indian government has helped Nepal in their growth in terms of intermediate projects, economic assistance, border, water resources, trade, transit, investment, security purposes, and a lot of infrastructure projects in the Nepal. And being the natural border, natural ally, easy to walk into the Nepal, it has helped the relationship. Gorkhas have been part of Indian military from I don't know how long times. There has been a Gorkha regiment. So now when this border dispute has opened up, Kanchan, this actually throws up interesting details, and those details can be seen from both sides. of Nepal side as well as India side. But if we go a little deeper into it, the Indian government's stand is that on the western border, which is the Uttarakhand border, the areas, the disputed areas right now are called Lipu Lake Valley as well as the Kalapani area. And those, from the Sugauli Treaty of 200 years back, it was always considered part of the Indian side. The only thing, there was nobody to live in there. It was kind of a no man's land, but it was always considered on the Indian side. Now, recently, when there was a road that was inaugurated, and this earlier this year by our defense minister, that actually helped cut short the Mansarovar Kailash Yatra by 50%. But it also opened up a very close and rapid movement towards the Chinese border, which China recently got really alerted on. And then Indian government said that China is unhappy about it.
So I feel that then is there any role of China in this dispute? China is playing any role in making two friends enemy?
So I would not go up to the level of China trying to bring animosity between India and Nepal, but I understand and agree that China's aggression and aggressive behavior towards our border, since not just now, but from the 1962. But we can keep it for a separate conversation, Kanchan. But yes, there are interests and the border, when the borders become closer and it is easier to maneuver, especially the Himalayan borders, definitely the movement of armies from both the sides can be seen as a threat. And therefore, it is indirect diplomacy that is happening through Nepal towards India. Let's not forget the Nepalese government is a communist government. And therefore, they have a natural ally in their thought process from the China's communist government. So let's not get into that. We are not experts on that, but we are young readers who understand, read, listen, and talk about our national borders. And we try to see it from the international and Asia cooperation dynamics. And therefore, it is important that India and Nepal both should come together on the table, discuss it out by the dialogue. And I'm sure the relationship of 1,000 years will not go away just by few small such incidents.
Yes, it cannot be like that, because we have relationships from, as you said, antiquity. So from a very ancient relationship we have with Nepal. We will be discussing more about Nepal and its history and its culture in our next episode. So till then, bye-bye, take care. It was, as usual, very good to talk to you. And
thank you, Kanchan.
See you tomorrow with very interesting topic on Nepal.
Thank you, Kanchan.
Bye-bye.
I will go back from this conversation and I will see some clips of our Nepali best of the exports of Nepal to India, some clips of Manisha Koirala.
Sure. All the best. Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
See you.